Hey everyone, welcome back to the Cyber Union. I am here out in Boston, Massachusetts. I am here at the AWS Reinforce Conference. I think it's the first one they've had. They have Reinforce and Reinvent. Reinforce is supposed to be the more technical conference, and it was. It's pretty technical. Anyways, I'm out here, and I figure, again, I talk about the conference from the perspective of a new analyst. Would you get anything out of it if you came? Overall, it was fun. It was good. Tons of vendors, tons of talks. There was something like had to be at least 10 tracks. So there's a little bit of something for everyone. But it was mostly like engineer focused, in my opinion, more than anything. Setting it up, configuring it, doing compliance as well. Compliance was another big piece, how to be compliant in the cloud with your setup. And those are pretty much the big things here. Would I recommend a new analyst going? No, definitely not. Just simply because it was focused towards that. Now, if you wanted to be an engineer, absolutely, this is probably the place to go if you have some prior knowledge for AWS. Now, that's easy to get for sure. I'll have to put in the link below. AWS and Azure are both offering free courses to learn how to do cloud engineering. I did architecture courses for both of them last year. Good material, a lot of fun, and they give you like $100 credit or something like that, or free access to a certain type of systems for a year once you sign up. So labs are free, essentially, if you want to go that route. For like IR type folks, not the place to go. They didn't have a lot of stuff that spoke to us, because that's a big part of my daily job now is incident response. Not a lot for us. I did find one talk really interesting from Verizon Media that talked about how they scaled their cloud infrastructure. And if you're not familiar with Verizon Media, is basically AOL, Yahoo, and Verizon all combined into one. He was a great speaker, very casual, very interactive too. It's probably the most interactive session I went into. A lot of questions, a lot of back and forth. Good, fantastic talk. If I can find his name, I'll put it in the notes. So hopefully he has some other stuff in YouTube. That was probably the most informative talk. Other than that, I definitely liked speaking with, I don't remember if it was called the Labs, like AWS Labs, but it's basically AWS employees that are working on projects together. One of them I talked to was about like facial recognition, but with a twist of determining whether you're a real person. And it did that by capturing points on the face and forcing you to do stuff like tilt your head and measure it and check points on it. That way you can't take a photograph and confuse it or trick it like you can now for the most part. Very interesting talking to them and what they had in mind and use cases for that. Another one was about an architecture layout for HIPAA, PHI, PII, PHI, keeping that in the cloud, recognizing that data in a document and then scrubbing it when it goes up into the cloud. It was just a layout of what they thought is a good architecture for protecting that, storing that, searching that, scrubbing that type of data. Really interesting talking to that guy as well. Other great things, CTF was fun. It was a Jeopardy style, if you're familiar with that. Different categories, different points. Had a little bit of everything. Forensics, encryption, IR with Splunk. So that was pretty much the only IR piece there, really, like full IR piece. So that was interesting. Lots of swag if you're into that type of thing. But again, I mean, I wouldn't recommend new analysts going out of this. You don't get much out of it. Now, one bit of advice I do have for you: if there is a conference you think you might like, hop on YouTube. See if there's some prior videos of talks there. Best way to gauge whether it's something you should go to and spend your time at is to see if the talks are worth listening to. And luckily, most conferences post their talks up on YouTube now. Just like DEF CON does that, I think DerbyCon, CircleCon, all those guys post their talks, Black Hat, so you can hop in there and learn. That's actually how I started going to conferences virtually, looking at past conference videos, listening to them on podcasts on the way to work. So check those out if you haven't done that. Tons of great information. Just kind of, I guess a little bit of news. I'm planning out the next 6 months of content. So if there's something you would like for me to build a blog and video series for, let me know so I can put it into the next 6 months of game planning. I'll put that message out on Twitter asking for feedback. Give me feedback here. Give me feedback on Twitter. Whichever area you want to send it to me. Right now I have some information on OSCP prep. So not just like top 5 things like I'm releasing, but more of here are resources you need to do and study. Techniques. These are things you need to do before you get into the labs, and while you're in the labs, they're going to be just as relevant. So it's stuff I used when I took the OSCP. Also, I got a blog coming out, and I think I have a video too on browser-based JavaScript malware analysis. So yeah, very specific this time. And I plan to release a technical article once a month. It takes a while to put them together. It's just a lot more information, a lot more research goes into them. So I plan those once a month, video every week, other types of blogs once a week as well. So lots of stuff going on. Let me know what you like, what you don't like, what you want to see. Definitely share this out. Let people know we're putting out content and we're taking feedback in what you want to learn. So let me know what you think. Hopefully you got something out of this video, and I will see you next time here on the Cyber Union. Take care, guys.